name is Cypher Morrison, and this is This Week in Car Audio. Tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in. We'll be talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in, 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 tune in. This Week in Car Audio. Yeah. Tune in, tune in. This Week in Car Audio.
Should I have my ring?
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, the Judge, Doug Stockton, co-hosted by my buddy, Jeffrey Fernandez. How's it going, Jeffrey?
Good. Oh, man, I just exited out of something.
I'm
doing well. I'm trying to stay cool out here in Texas. It's like triple digits.
Yeah, well, we were just talking about that, and hold on a second. Let me let this person know. We are live now. We were having some issues. For some reason, Facebook wanted to change something again. And, oh, there we go. There's Arturo. Says, sup.
Zuckerberg.
So, anyway, we were having some issues. Facebook changed some stuff, and it wouldn't let me go live. So, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm never late, but I was today because of dumbass Facebook sometimes. Anyway, if somebody's on YouTube, I'd love if you just put something in there real quick so that we can see and make sure it is coming through on the chat side also. Tiffany's on here now. I was hanging out near Tiffany's house. Wasn't quite in Barbados, but I was over in the Caribbean. I went to Antigua, or as they call it there, Antigua. There's no gua in their name. Oh, there we go. YouTube is working. Corey got in there. So I was in Antigua, St. Kitts, St. Martin, St. Thomas, Puerto Rico, somewhere else.
Well, what were you doing there? Just vacationing?
Oh, yeah, it was a cruise. Tristan says, hey, Doug, my new Caribbean brother. So.
Did you guys meet up?
No, he said.
No,
I was talking to Tiffany about it, and she said it cost more to fly from island to island than it does if they just fly to Miami and take a cruise ship with me. So,
wow.
So they try not to do that island hopping thing very much there. It's pretty expensive. So, I did. Okay. So my wife said I was wrong about this. You tell me, okay. Jeffrey. So most likely it's wrong if my wife tells me it's wrong, right?
Okay.
Is my door closed?
Right. Is she listening in?
I don't know. She might be. Anyway, so I texted Tiffany and I says, hey, in the United States, the N-word's a big deal. And, it all stems from slavery and this and that. And when I'm going around, all these islands, and I'm a sucker for history and that kind of stuff. So I'm sitting here listening to the story of the islands and all this stuff, and they're obviously built on the sugar plantation trade and slavery trade. And I said, so in the United States, N-word's a big deal, and I was wondering, because like a fag in England is a cigarette, right? So I asked her, I says, hey, is it even a big deal at all out where you guys? She goes, well, at certain age groups, it's a huge deal. And, thought it was Mike Del Monte. Thought Mel looked like Mike Del Monte on there for a minute. Anyway, and she said, certain age groups it was, and she was asking, so were people using it and this and that? And I go, no, that's the thing is, out here, being close to Oakland and some other highly, black populations, I hear it all the time, and I like to play basketball and this and that. So, dude, I hear that word, ain't nobody's business, right? Okay. Anyway, and I didn't even hear it once out there. I will tell you, uh, you don't even smoke, and you always say, "Give me a cig." um, anyway, I will say when I was out there, I started asking. I had a young tour guide on one of the things, and I asked him, I said, "So what's the car audio world like out here?" And dude, it was like it was planned. All of a sudden, this lowrider, like little Toyota, drives by. Poof, 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 poof. I was like, oh. He goes, yeah, we have a community of people. It's not very big, but I mean, guys will put in all these. And then I started showing him some pictures of like DC Audio's bass bourbon and stuff like that. And he's like, oh yeah, we don't have nothing like that here on the islands. But it was cool. Like I said, I had a good time. Like I was telling you backstage before we started the show, I think I was getting heat stroked or something because my wife looked down at my watch and my normal resting heart rate was almost double. And I just like, man, I just don't feel good. And I mean, it was only like 88 degrees. But dude, it was the most miserable 88 degrees of my life. So.
How hot was it?
So it was 88 degrees with 98 to 100% humidity.
Oh, okay. So it's like that.
So it wasn't a dry heat.
That's a Tuesday here in Texas.
It's a Tuesday. Hey, definitely.
Yeah, that's
I think
Joel.
we're like at 112 today here in the metro.
Yeah.
In case you guys can't read the Oriental writing, that's Joel. Oh, yeah. So, and then here's Tristan talking about nothing like a rum and Coke when it's hot. So everywhere they were doing rum punch. Everybody. So it was just like fruit punch with rum. Dave Bradshaw says Doug Stockton is beyond white. You get heat stroke at 80 degrees, bro.
80 degrees. But I mean, you're from California. You're used to like the California heat, and it can get pretty high there as well.
Well, I mean, yeah, at my house it gets for 115.
Yeah.
That's a Wednesday.
I know. That ain't nothing.
A Wednesday.
That ain't nothing. I didn't get sunburnt because I was wearing. My wife made it very clear that I was not allowed to leave our room without being SPF 50'd everywhere.
Wow.
So yeah, so I didn't get burnt at all. But my kids, they got a little toasty because they said the SPF is supposed to be the same. That number is supposed to match your age. So I was there with a whole bunch of 20-year-olds. So they're using SPF 15 and 20 and stuff. Yeah, they got a little red. So 115, fix your AC, bro. Oh, Casey Custer. I wonder if he's gonna come in. 80 degrees with 100% humidity. That's like bowling at the Bolero on a Saturday. He ain't lying. Dude, some of that, dude, I have a big badass fan I take with me all that.
Where, bowling?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because you bring your own. You bring a fan?
Oh, absolutely. Gotta have it. Sweating and sticking everywhere. Ain't lying, Casey. Balls were sticking to my thighs.
98 degrees right now, and it's 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock here in Texas. So it's
yeah. Alonzo Romero says, I'm a new grandfather. Does DB Drag have a class for Power Wheels? So, do you remember what we said about that, Jeffrey? So it's an exhibition class.
Right. Yeah. The Bagger Beats, right? It's a part of Bagger Beats.
Yes, but it's just an expedition class is all. So it's not an official class at DB Drag, but I would offer it if you told me you were bringing a Power Wheel to an event. Yeah, Casey says fans are a must and baby powder.
Baby powder too.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Corey Magog. Trying to pronounce that. Where are you at, Corey? So there's tons of shows coming up. That's what we're going to talk about today. He just asked ADB. Is he in your area?
He's a Texas guy. Yeah. Well, he's south.
Okay.
South,
he's in Austin.
Austin, right? About 3 hours from Dallas?
Yeah, it's not far from us.
Yeah, Calvin chiming in with his same old with it. Jeffrey competes in that class since Power Wheels are full-size vehicles for him.
Well, it's funny. our friends from down south, from Mexico, they come up with their little teeny cars or Corsas.
Oh, dude,
and
yeah.
and whenever they pull up, I'm like, this isn't the Power Wheels class. You can't compete in this car. But I know a little bit about Power Wheels.
He says he's in the central Texas area.
Oh, right.
Oops. Cuba's chiming in. I have an Airbnb at Lake Arrowhead. Guess my location. Lake Arrowhead. Isn't Lake Arrowhead down in SoCal?
Yeah. Alonzo, he's actually a SoCal.
Oh, okay.
SoCal guy.
Got you. Yeah, so for Corey, he's mid-Texas. That brings us into what we're actually going to talk about today. So Jeffrey's going to be doing a 3X event on the 15th or 24th? Both.
Both. Both, actually. But the next one coming up is going to be this Saturday, June 24th.
Oh, 24th, sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be an afternoon start time. We're going to start at 4 p.m. because this Texas heat, man, it's no joke. And, around high noon, it's kind of miserable.
Degrees.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to kind of start it off in the afternoon and kind of just roll into the evening. But it's going to be a triple point event. We're going to have trophies, and which brings us to our guests today.
Yep.
We're also going to have another organization, and I'll let our guest, SPL Mel, talk about it.
Yeah, so I'm really excited. Thank you guys for letting me be on here. I love coming onto this show because you guys are just the greatest and explain everything simply for everyone to understand, and that's really good. So we're going to have of course, the DB Drag Triple Point event this weekend. We're also going to be having U.S.A.C. Triple Point event this weekend at the same show.
Mm-hmm.
So we're expecting quite a turnout. Yeah, I'm hoping to see on both sides of the fence anywhere between 50 to 75 cars.
Okay, cool. Speaking of multiple organizations, Arturo Gutierrez, he's down in the Kern County area, which is, we call it Southern California around here, but Southern California guys call that Northern California because it's over the grapevine. But it's just over the grapevine, and he is having a multi-org event. Actually invited me to come down for his event. He has U.S.A.C, IASCA, and Base Wars. And
that's at Kern County, right?
Kern County. Okay. So that's down in Fresno area, or Bakersfield, I believe. I don't know if it's Bakersfield but anyway. So he's got an event down that way that he's partially hosting or part of the putting it together or something. I just see him attached to it a lot. And then myself on that same day in the afternoon. Let's see here. Down to Pound is Senkel's Loudest and More World Champs over there.
That's nice.
So, speaking of world champs,
who?
Speaking about world champs,
you might know some.
Well, we know quite a few. And in March, this past March, U.S.A.C had their finals and in Lawton, Oklahoma. And now what we're going to do is we are going to present a few of the rings from the championship at the event here at Crossfire on Saturday.
So who's coming to do the U.S.A.C event? Who's officiating that?
We're going to have Anita and Gilbert that are going to do the U.S.A.C side of it.
Yeah, and they come up from southern Texas, right?
Yes. Yeah, they were going to be in the area, and so I thought it would work out really well if we had them doing the show. They also have a very strong following from the Houston area.
They do.
And I wanted to attract people from the Houston area up to the metro.
Okay. And with that, they can I don't know how much crossover you're going to get, but at least it's going to expose them to DB Drag and maybe get them interested in that too now.
Oh, yeah. When I was out there, I did an event in the Houston area with Paul, and it was Audio Olympics. And there was a bunch of competitors out there that I think Perez Customs guys, they were really interested in the DB Drag, had a lot of them compete in DB Drag, and hopefully soon we're going to start having shows down there in Houston.
Oh, that's awesome. What's Houston for you, Jeffrey? How much of a drive?
I want to say like 3 hours.
Oh, it's a solid drive.
Oh yeah, yeah, not too bad.
But you're a road warrior, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so you have the Kern County this weekend, and then their shows, I believe, starts at 10 a.m. Let me know if I'm wrong, Arturo, and I can get that adjusted. But because the nature of the events that they do, you would be able to go down there, compete, and still drive up to Sacramento afterwards and compete in the DB Drag event. Now, the only reason I didn't change my show down to there, which Arturo gave me the invite to be part of, was, I have my standing shows the first, the third, and the fourth Saturday of every month. I've had that for multiple years, but I'm inviting a musical artist to come and see what this DB drag thing is. So he wants to come and check it out, and it happens to be one of my bowling buddies too. He's a musical artist that's a professional bowler, trying to do both things, and so he's going to be at the show up here in Sac, and love to introduce him to a bunch of the loud guys, to the demo guys, the competitors, and so he can just see, because he's never been part of or never even heard of what we do until I told him about it. So, and he's interested, just like with some of the other artists that we've talked to, making music that potentially can be used in the demo vehicles. So
that's cool.
So we're always looking for crossover stuff, and this is once again one of those opportunities that gets us a chance to cross over some people. So that's awesome. So Mel, you obviously have a DB drag ring. Do you have T.W.I.C.A, IASCA, or anything else also, or?
Yeah, so I picked up an IASCA ring. Well, we didn't get rings, but I picked up a championship from IASCA.
Okay.
And then I've got I won my second USAC World Championship this past March as well.
So what did you win in USAC, or what class were you competing
So
in?
my first ring was in the 300 or the 3,000 watt stock class, and then the one that I recently won was in 1K stock class.
So does it translate to DB drag also?
It actually does, and the reason it translates is because freestyle is something that DB drag offers, and so I'm really hoping to get some of the USAC competitors to come into the freestyle event on Saturday.
Okay. And so Jeffrey, are you going to offer the multiple freestyle classes?
Oh yeah, at all my events I do that.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying is, are you offering the 1,000, 3,000, the Super Street No Wall, all that?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a 5K in there. Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I typically just have a street class, a stock class, and a Super Street class for the freestyle. Except for at my multi-points, my 3Xs and 2Xs, I allow people to get in whatever class they want so they can get their certified score. And but I only have trophies for the stock no limit and the Super Street wall class.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought I heard you mention that when I did. What?
Chad Geary. What did we do to get him to come and pop his head in here? Sorry about that. That's what you heard. What?
Yeah, so I can recall you talking about that at the Autorama when I was there. Yeah, okay. I thought it was a little different how you did that, but I see what you were doing. So
yeah, the thing is Tennessee base racers are in the house. Oh, speaking of, there you go, Lucky McGovern chiming in. He was creeping in the background, according to Dave Bradshaw. Mr. Gregory. Lunchbox, or what is it, glove box, or whatever we were calling him. Lunchbox? Was it Lunchbox?
What?
I think it was Lunchbox or something like that. Anyway, I talked to Wayne today, and he released a new version of TermLab. So if you guys haven't, go on your TermLab, run it today, and get the new update. It should automatically update on your computer once you start the TermLab. But now that he's released that new version of TurnLab, which is the stuff Jeffrey, you and I have been using as judges. So it's not going to change our system at all, except for it's just going to change the date from us being a beta to an actual version. Right. So is this, am I taking this wrong when Lucky says I only creep in the back of Dave Bradshaw?
Wow.
Whoa. That's kind of dirty. Anyway, so I talked to Wayne today, and so now that he's released that new version, he is 100% focused on getting us going with the multiple location event.
Nice.
So it'll be us, Tennessee Glove Box. There it is. I knew it.
Glove Box. That's what it was.
I remember. So Wayne is getting focused on it. We intend to start testing it next week and making sure that all the numbers are working properly. And he said we may be able to see an event as early as 3 weeks away.
Sounds good.
So we may be able to, within 3 weeks, schedule another event for multiple locations, which, Mel, you wouldn't like to do that, would you? Base race for $1,500.
Wow.
Wow. So, great.
That sounds awesome.
Mr. Gregory there tells me he can help raise a ton of money for that event. And I'm sure Jeffrey can help with that, and I will do my best to help. Kai Vincent says he's seen it, and Chris says we down.
Yeah, it's a good thing, Chris. You're chiming in because there was a competitor who had inquired about the satellite locations, and he likes to come in the day before the event and kind of practice base race. So I told him, hey, if you're coming down, let me get a hold of Chris and see if I think he's doing a show this weekend too, I believe. I was telling him, hey, let's see if you can get a couple of guys. If he can get a couple of guys on Friday, then maybe we could do like this Facebook, split view type thing. Yeah, and we can just kind of like practice. I mean, it's not going to be
across the internet.
Across the internet. It's not going to be linked, but just to kind of see what our side would see, what their side would see.
You're talking about not even over the TurnLab system, just right. Like you're talking about you putting them on the screen, like how I would run the event. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, we'll give that a shot, and just to kind of give people
yes,
a taste. All right.
He says they are all busy with the Excess Power Show on July 15th.
Big show.
I will be. Hold on. Look into my allow. Got a thumbs up. What other things there? Where is his name? Tegan.
That's a big weekend. It's going to be a big weekend of shows.
Let's see. Yeah, July 14, 15, 16. 30 days, all 3 days. Demo friendly, music, food, drink. Is a DB Drag 3X.
Which one is that?
Midwest SPL. Base Wars.
Oh, that's the Excess Power Show
one, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is that the Excess Power Show?
I believe so.
Sounds like it.
Midwest SPL.
Excess Power Show is like Slamology. It's one of the ones you just gotta.
It's in Sioux City, Iowa. Is all the information I got so far.
Oh, is that? Oh, that's your show that you're doing now.
Yeah, that's the one I'm flying out to do.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the Excess Power Show. I believe theirs is on the 15th as well. Oh, Chris says Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Dave Bradshaw says Lucky McGovern needs that $1,500 so he can do his transition.
What?
Chris says the Excess Power's in Knoxville, Tennessee, which is cool.
Yeah.
Hey, in California, that stuff's allowed, so we're all cool with that. Incriminating Our Audio is the 7/12 show. So
another good show.
July 12th.
Is it? July 12th is like a weekday, isn't it?
It would have to be, right? Because if the 15th is a Saturday, maybe 7/12 is the area code or something.
So July 12th is a Wednesday. Oh, Iowa. Says Chris says Iowa. Sorry.
What?
Oh, is Incriminator doing?
Iowa is the 712 show, I think.
It's called the 712 show. Okay,
Oh.
we were thinking it was a date.
Yeah. No, I have no idea. Like I said, I'm still waiting to get all the information from Tegan, so I can upload it onto DB Drag Racing and get that going. Team Send It. Hey, Lucky, you'll be happy to know, even though Lucky McGovern's transitioning to Scar to match his Scar.
What?
Says Pop Tart's heading out to the 712 show. Cool, Pop Tart. Good to see you out there. But Team Send It, Lucky, just so you know, they just started a Reno chapter, and we were actually going to have the new president of the Reno chapter on here today, which is man, I see his name.
Is it Riney? No.
Yeah, yes, Riney. Joseph Riney. Okay. Team DC Joe. And...
so I was second choice then, huh? Or third choice or fourth choice?
Really?
For Reno? Hey, I guarantee, Dave, you want to start a chapter in Texas? Mel's got this. Team Send It, Texas.
I'm already in one right now, so we're good. Yeah.
That's a good transition. So let's talk about the team you're on, Mel.
Yeah.
So the team that I recently became a part of was Team Ain't Loud, and that's the one that Sam in Indiana is our president, our chapter president up in Indiana. So I'm in the Texas chapter.
Okay.
It's called Team Ain't Loud, right?
Ain't loud. Hashtag Ain't Loud.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm the vice president of the Texas chapter, and then we got Jose Zavala, who's our president. So our name is going to be on the T.W.I.C.A side of the sponsored portion for the event this weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the team. Great group of guys, and spouses that just help out in every way possible. So.
Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, I know we've mentioned it on this show multiple times, but I can't express to you guys how cool it is to look out there when I'm running on the mic and I see a wife and a kid helping their husband or whatever and prep a car to get ready to pull into the lanes. That's all. Like, they're pulling stuff out of the car. They got the cooler, they got the diaper bag, they got the car seat, and they're all setting it up under the tent, and and they're getting the car ready, and the wife rolls in with them and holds the doors. All that stuff's really cool to see. The family participation.
I really like the things that are behind the scenes, like because there's so many people out there like just holding a piece of wood on a table saw. My wife helped me do that the other day. Down to whatever it is that you can do to help out. Spouses are there, and it's just amazing. I consider that a part of the ring that you win.
Yeah. So for me, I'm a fairly religious person, and we like to say, the man is the head of the household, but the wife is your neck. So you don't look at anything she don't want you to look at. And so without her and her assistance, you don't get to do the things that you want to do, because there's so many other things going on.
Right.
I think I heard it differently.
Yeah. How did you hear it?
I think it's you can't move your head without the neck. So I didn't hear the one where the neck can't make you look where you don't want to look or.
Yeah. So
Jeffrey's wife is a very important part of the role too. I mean, she's at the shows, and she's in the heat with everybody else, and in the cold weather, and so yeah. I mean, spouses are very important in our hobby.
Yes,
definitely.
For me, my wife used to be a big part of it. She stepped back from being a big part of it, but she still helps me with getting stuff ready for the shows every time, and this and that, and like Dave Bradshaw's stickers. I have my shop that's 40 miles away, and she runs down and picks them up for me, picks up my trophies for me, So I mean, she's a big part of what it is. Yeah, behind every great competitor is a supportive wife. Oh, that's why Dave's not that great of a competitor. He just ain't got a wife. But he's got cars that he treats like wives. Nah. He's a polygamist. He's a car polygamist. Yeah, he's got Kong, and now he's got the CRX, and he had another car he was working on. So, yeah, he's got a full handful of cars. Fred Montana popping in. Anyway, so Mel, are you one of the guys that help are upgrading all these events out there in Texas to make Moses have to upgrade all the events out here?
I've done one or two, but the one that really does it is Julius Mac Johnson.
That's
third.
Right, Mac Johnson. Mac Daddy Johnson.
And he's on our team as well, and I'm very proud to call him a friend. I didn't know him at first, and then I kind of started learning about him from going to all the shows and stuff like that, and he's just become a big part of the DB Drag family. Montana is a big part of the family as well. I mean, it's all in Texas. It's all we are. It's just family. We're all just like hanging out and just going to the show.
That's awesome. Speaking of family in the DB Drag world, you guys see Gary Killian's post? He's talking about moving out of Kentucky. Just saying the memories are tough and this and that. Yeah. And so he's looking to relocate in Florida.
Really? Florida?
That's what he said. He said he's looking for a place to relocate, and Florida's high on the list. If he was there this weekend, he wouldn't have been high on his list. Dude, that for a fat guy like me and him, whew, Florida's rough. So, but yeah, if you guys get a chance, he's full time, down to send it.
Team down to send it.
Team down to send it. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna take kindly to that, Dave. Anyway, Gary has gone to his food thing. So if you guys get a chance, go like his page on Facebook for food. He said he only had like 1,500 people liking it and had to shut down his other page, or can't accept any new requests on his other page because they are he's already reached the limit of 5,000 friends. So he wants you guys to like and share. Speaking of liking and sharing, we're close to 400 on our YouTube side. Let's get up to 500 so I can give away a membership. And if we can hit 1,000, I'm going to give away an entry into the World Finals. So I need your guys' help to do that. Our YouTube channel, in case you guys aren't already a member of it, is This Week in Car Audio, just like the show. Just look it up on YouTube, and you will find.
So that giveaway, is that extended out to Kentucky and Canada?
It is extended to, I will pay an entry fee to somebody's World Finals on the multi-location. Nice. So that even includes the European guys.
Slovenia, too?
Yep. Because the cost is going to be the same. So it doesn't matter where you're going to be.
How many Deutsches is that over there?
Yeah.
Dude, probably what, 500,000 Deutsch? I have no idea what the German currency is currently.
Me neither.
I do remember, so like I said, I'm kind of a history guy. I remember in my history books back when I was in high school, and they were talking about post-World War II, and they literally had somebody with a wheelbarrow full of Deutsch marks going to buy a loaf of bread. And it was literally a wheelbarrow full of Deutsch marks.
Yeah, maybe you don't want to pay for those guys. Those guys are really loud. Anymore.
Yeah. No, there are some loud guys out that way. There's a show coming up in Australia, and I hear tell that they may be setting a new world record down there in Australia coming up. There's a 3X coming up in a couple weeks. And if the people, as they say, are going to be doing that,
what class?
He didn't want to share.
No. Okay.
He's just saying.
I like that. I respect that.
Yeah. He's just saying, pay attention.
Let his numbers do the talking.
That's right. Just pay attention. We may have a new world record down here, or two. So,
Yeah, a lot of world records being broken as of late. You know, and numbers are getting higher and higher, and the bar is getting higher and higher, and yeah, every class.
Well, we are rolling into mid-season. I expect people to be showing numbers. Definitely not their World Finals numbers yet, but at least numbers to kind of push the people coming up, push them a little harder.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think we had Dan Horner on the show a while back, and he said he doesn't come out until like way after the winter time, or what his trailer doesn't come out till springtime. So I think a lot of the guys have just kind of been on a short hiatus, and then now that the weather's been doing a lot better, they're starting to come out here and there. But
no, it's no joke now. It's no, I mean, now it's time to buckle down and get ready because finals will be here by the time you know it.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't wait to see where Benjamin can't remember his last name.
Barnett.
Barnett, yes. Thank you, Ben Barnett. If you guys haven't seen his Hearst yet, dude, that thing is insane. I was hoping he was gonna still make it back up to my show in Sacramento since that's where he lives, but he's got to go down to the Kern County Showdown. He is partial sponsor on that event, so he is heading down there for that event. I don't think he's gonna make it back up, but I thought that would be a great introduction vehicle to introduce my artist friend to car stereo competition.
But we want him to come back. We don't we don't you know. Yeah, we don't want to run him off. Maybe they can ease into the demo when he gets
just turn the dial a little bit, not too much.
Just a little bit.
Right. So back in the days, I think Jeffrey, you might even remember some of the Extreme SPL vehicles had a kill switch on the dash. Did you ever see any of those?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who was it specifically?
But I haven't seen anybody do that in a long time. And the whole idea was you give people demos and try to get them to push the kill switch.
I think Rocker Fosgate currently does that with their demo vehicles.
Oh, that's right.
They send around to all the shows and stores. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they sit you in there in the back, and then they have a big old button that says push if you want to get out of there. It's a tap out button.
Tap out button. Yeah. I do know. I believe Jeffrey can remember this. I think it was the Alpine booth, or it was the Sony booth.
Okay.
Do you remember back at CES? They had, it was like just a glass case.
Yeah, it was like a sound chamber.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was Alpine.
Oh, it was Alpine. Dude, that thing was pretty awesome. And it had the escape button on it too, the tap out button on the inside. But that was a pretty cool little build for CES. It'd be nice to see CES like it was, or even, what's the other one they do?
SEMA?
SEMA, yeah. So Jeffrey, you've been to SEMA, obviously, but it's probably not as interesting because it's not the same time as the AVNs, right? So.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Doug. I don't know what those letters mean.
Well, SEMA's starting to come back. I mean, it actually had quite a few this past year, 12-volt companies, so at least some core ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's coming back. CES, unfortunately, is just that's not going to come back.
Yeah,
no,
unfortunate.
It's really moved to stuff like home automation.
Robots and just
robots, car automation, stuff like that, which is cool, But I might have to do the SEMA thing. The only bad thing about SEMA is it's so close to World Finals, and October's a big month for me. Jonathan Corner chiming in says 254 in the house. Remember, if you're on YouTube and watching this, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. More important than everything is the subscribe button. Like I said, let's get to 500 subscribers. Share it with as many people as you can. Let's get up to 500. I mean, I could go and buy some subscribers, but I ain't down with that. I need you guys. Yes, you can. And they aren't very expensive. So, But I think it was
Are
like,
we accepting Cash App? Because I could always accept money for Cash App. I'm always down for that.
oh, I always accept. Yeah, right there. Look right on the top of my screen here, right here.
Yeah.
It says Venmo and Cash App for tips for the hostesses.
There you go.
But yes, like I said, if we can get that to 1,000, I will give away an entry to World Finals. So 500, we will raffle off a DB Drag membership. So
I might get into something like that. Like I might want to give something out, like a Stinger Audio 2,000 watt amplifier or 1,500 watt amplifier or something.
Stinger Audio.
Yeah, it's one of the brands that my company owns, and it's Stinger Electronics.
Right.
Is one of them, and now Stinger Audio is its own line that we've come out with for DTC, direct to consumer.
Oh, okay. And this is Stinger, like the interconnects and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
Stinger
Like
Audio
amps?
and
Like
yeah, we got
AAM?
amplifiers and speaker
AAM,
boxes and
like
subwoofers.
American Amplifier.
Yep.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I didn't. So you work for them?
Yeah. I've been with them now for 5 years and really enjoy my time with them. And yeah, it's a good company to work for.
Oh, you need to talk to Josh T.W.I.C.A.
Oh,
He there's an amp store in Reno, but he's doing his new thing with the bass knobs and whatnot, and he's been using the Stinger 8000s.
Oh,
so
yeah. Awesome RCAs.
Yeah, and he'll even he came on and talked about how he tested a whole bunch of them, and those ones were by far the most consistent. Because I tell people all the time, RCAs are literally just a connection. When you're buying quality of like whether or not it's going to break. But even when you buy the best RCAs, you always test them right out of the package because
you never know. That's true.
Companies send them all the time that have a bad connection, and so
they're
tone
just
them.
mass produced.
Yes, but you always tone your RCAs because, dude, you can dig through a car for a long time trying to figure out what the hell's going wrong.
Yep.
When you could have just toned out your RCA jacks to confirm that those were the issue right off the get.
Yeah, speaking about RCAs, Rusty at DC Audio just received a shipment from me for their van that they built.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
For Stinger 8000s, and he really likes those 8000 series RCAs. So yeah, he's rocking those in the van now.
Yeah, he may have talked to Josh T.W.I.C.A about those prior, because like I said, Josh literally bought like every interconnect he can find and settled on the Stinger 8000s. So obviously there was something to that, right?
Yeah. And Josh, you're more than welcome to reach out to me if you want to talk product or talk, sales or whatever. I mean, I'm more than happy to do whatever I can to help you out.
All right, that's cool. See, we're making connections here, Jeff.
Yeah, I see Mel. You would post on his Facebook that he's at different shops like every other day, and I'm like, wow, okay, that's cool. You gonna go out to California, Mel?
we have people in California that do my job, so we have people that do that. Yeah.
So what is your territory then?
So my territory is north of Austin, all the way up to the Panhandle of Texas and down to Houston in the lower corner of Texas.
Oh, okay. So you're just a Texas guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because Texas isn't very big anyway, you know.
It's pretty big.
We have two people in Texas, so yeah, we got one in the south, and of course I'm the only one of the group that speaks Spanish, so I also handle a lot of the accounts that speak Spanish.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I take that back. Our new guy also speaks Spanish too, so I apologize. I gotta give him props.
Spanish is a kind of an important language in Texas. Just saying.
It is. Yeah. In California, could
Same
be too.
in California.
Same in California.
Just kind of might have been. Yeah, I learned way more Spanish on the streets in LA than I ever did at school. It wasn't exactly the same Spanish though, for some reason. I was like, hey, how come we aren't learning these words in my Spanish class? Yeah, I was a busboy and a dishwasher for quite a few years. And so, yeah, like I said, so it was not exactly your, what do they call that? The not formal Spanish, the
slang Spanish.
Huh?
Spanglish.
Oh,
Spanglish.
no, what I was learning was
Spanglish.
Spanglish and other stuff.
Spanglish.
It wasn't the "Como está usted?" Yeah, I didn't hear nobody talking like that out where I was hanging out. It's like, "Hey, vato, ¿qué pasa, güey?"
Oh no.
You know?
You know, you're talking, and the only thing that's coming to my mind is a lot of the bad words and bad
Oh,
phrases. Yeah.
dude, just by as I start speaking Spanish, dude, my accent goes to bad words. So I've been in the construction trade all my life. I went from working in a restaurant to construction. Highly Hispanic areas, trades. So yes, I most of the Spanish words I know are 4 letters in the United States in English. So, but no, that's good. So, so who's actually putting on this triple org event that you guys got coming up this weekend?
It's a double
Or
org.
double org. Yeah, who's putting on the multi-org event? Is it Crossfire putting it on? And then Mal upgrade it, or?
Yeah, there's a couple of sponsors. Crossfire being one of them, because it is here at the
Crossfire Fire series.
Yeah.
Yeah, summer series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's on the GB drag side, yeah.
Yeah, we're fortunate in Texas because we have so many people that want to upgrade events, host shows.
Oh yeah.
And then Roger is such a big part of the community because he's allowing us to do that at Crossfire, that is huge. And
like, look, check out his parking
lot.
Check out his parking lot. I mean, the space in a commercial space. I mean, that's
perfect.
golden.
Perfect. And then he feeds us.
Hey, he never fed me at his shows.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta praise Jeffrey and I gotta praise Roger because those two guys have brought DFW. They've made it a piece of the community, and in Kentucky we've had a strong following.
Mm-hmm.
I started off as being the only competitor from Texas, and now we started at 1, and now we're at like 9 or 10, and it's because of Jeffrey and because of Roger that they built it up that way.
Well, Roger's OG DB drag, been there since the beginning, and
there's rumors. There's rumors.
Rumors.
Yeah, there are rumors that there's a car that's going to be coming out. Yeah.
You know what they say about rumors. No,
but I don't know.
It seems like every time there's a show, Roger gets that itch. That he talks about it for
I bet he does.
A good week, and then things start to move. It just doesn't move as fast, but I think his main goal is to get back out there into the lanes, and once all the stars are in place, then he's going to be fully back into it. So
I don't know if you go knocking on the devil's door, he may answer. So
but it's hard to get that competitiveness out of your system,
it really is.
It's like every time I go to finals, I always get that itch about wanting to come back, but it's I got to think about it, but it's hard to get it out of your system for like the hardcore competitors, especially Roger, who's been doing it for years and years and years,
and he's doing it at the highest level, right? Because he went from Super Street. He wasn't playing around in the stock classes. He went Super Street to Extreme.
Hey. There's nothing wrong with stock classes.
No, I'm not saying there isn't, but I'm just saying he did not start small. He started big and went bigger. So with Roger, you're definitely what you're getting. And if he comes out, he's not coming out with a Super Street car. He's coming out with a full Extreme car that's probably going to be doing an 82 without testing, would be my guess.
We're not going to divulge information just yet. But, I heard rumors and things like that, and I'm not going to be the one that says anything. But I think Jeffrey's right. I wanted to take a year or two off because I've been doing it for such a long time, and I can't. It's just the competitive person in me won't allow me to do that. Won't allow me to take a break. Yeah. So.
I try to explain that. So Dave Bradshaw, so when I finally do stop doing this and move to Wichita, so I can do, northern Oklahoma all the way up to whatever states above Kansas.
And we'll be there.
Yeah, and anyway, I can do shows out there. Dave Bradshaw really wants to start doing shows here in California, and I mean I can't express to him that when you're on this side of putting on shows, you really want to be on the other side. And that's a big part of that is why I started doing the Beat the Boss. So, just, hey, it's an opportunity for me to have a little fun, and I don't got to build a car. Because that's one part. So it's a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Right.
Those moments of you building that car with the people that you build it with, because my personal car I built by myself, but I helped with all the other cars in my team. That time you spend building the car with your buddies, there's some precious moments in there that you'd never want to give back.
Yeah, it's true.
But damn, they're hard on your life. They do consume a lot of hours.
Yeah.
So
one of my goals when having DB drag racing in Oklahoma coming up, that's going to be soon, I hope, and then in Texas, is to have a regional event in Texas or Oklahoma and not have to travel all the way to Kentucky, to
or
go
California or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, California killed me.
You loved it.
It was 29 hours of nothing.
Wow.
So,
welcome to the Western United States.
I mean, I would do it again, but yeah, it's going to take a lot for me to do that again. I'm gonna do it hauling my vehicle in a nice, comfortable truck, diesel, just across the country.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow, that sounded like the Excess SPL guys back in the day when it would always just be Nashville, Tennessee, and we'd have to drive all the way out there.
Oh.
Some of the extreme cars, the extreme guys, they would drive their extreme car.
Yes.
There's a couple of times where we would all caravan in the beginning, and then
break up.
the extreme guys,
Yep.
they would literally unbolt their bulletproof glass window and then just take a break and take a
Order
nap.
hamburger.
Yeah.
Hey, can I have a Big Mac, please? Yeah.
So hey, it's a good thing now that we've kind of come to satellite locations where you don't have to travel as far. It's nice, and it was cool when it was just one location, but the satellite location really opened up a lot of doors, brought a lot of new competitors in.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we're kind of having it again. I'm glad we are having it again this year. I think there was a couple of announcements that Celise had put up. I think they were just talking about the host hotel that was up and running. I know some people have told me they've already booked their rooms. I think Julie's told me he's got this killer room up there. Mel's got his.
Yeah, I booked mine already.
So,
that's important.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and it's such a great location. One of the things I really enjoy about having it at one location is you get to see everybody.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to the camaraderie, and you have the rivalries, and you have everything is there, all together. Yeah. So splitting it up, it does break up the camaraderie a little bit, but I get it. It has to be done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can understand. Well, what if we had World Finals in California, right? For people from Alabama. So because there's a lot of loud people in Alabama and the Far East, right?
Right.
And so,
but you got to remember, we had people that went from Florida. Robert Kohler drove all the way from Florida all the way to California.
Well, one team, right? And then we had DTX.
I drove from Texas. Then the guys from Canada came from Canada.
Well, the guys from Canada like to come to California. They have a good time here. So
we had a great time in California, by the way. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
They come multiple times a year from Canada down here. So, if you do get a chance, I mean, I know it's 29 hours, but the last weekend in April we have Autorama, and
that's a good one.
I would strongly suggest that.
That's one of the ones you want to check off your list. That's one of the shows that I want to go to. That there's that one, Excess Power, Slamology,
Yeah.
There's quite a few of them like that. I think the Sundown Show on the East Coast is another one you want to check off. Incriminator Show. There's just so many that I want to personally go to that'll be my bucket list check off.
Yeah. This next year, I've extended an invitation to Base Wars and IASCA to participate at Autorama next year.
Very cool.
I mean, I extended it last year. Base Wars didn't even respond to nothing. IASCA said, thanks anyway. We don't want to participate this year. So they said maybe next year. So hopefully they will, come out next year and make it a multi-org big show like it's been in the past. I mean,
Don't give up. Don't give up.
Oh no, I won't. I mean, I had 160 entries a couple of years ago doing it, right? This last year, what do we have? 109, Jeffrey, I think.
Yeah.
So,
for Autorama.
So we still had 109. That was only DB Drag. So
as a competitor who enjoys the different organizations, it's very much appreciated when you have a multi-org event.
Yeah, and that's getting real popular here in California. Jeffrey will tell you, we had a pretty small period where DB Drag essentially didn't exist back in the early 2000s out here in California. It was when it was transitioning to me taking over versus the previous guy who was kind of stepping away. And I did my best to expand it. I went from doing, 2 shows my first year or 3 shows my first year to by my 4th year, I was doing 20-something shows a year between NorCal and SoCal. So, like I said, it's a lot of work to put on one of these events. Jeffrey will tell you. It's not like we as judges just show up at the event and, hey, it's time to go, and that's like it. There's a lot more just like the competitors. Would you see them show up to an event and they turn on their stereo system? That's not all went into showing up to that event.
Right.
There's planning with your house, your dogs, your family.
Yeah.
The time you got to set aside to get ready. Jeffrey and I obviously do this podcast. That's part of us doing the shows. We consider that part of the shows. And then, I personally, Jeffrey, I see he has trophies at his shows, at a lot of his shows now. So, he's got to get trophies ready and all that. I got to get the trophies ready. I got to, I got my other businesses to run. I do stickers and T-shirts and jerseys for teams out there. So,
it definitely takes a special breed of person to do both, or to do, compete and or to judge. It takes a special person to do that. So,
yeah. And I think it's the same person. I think that's why we as judges, in my opinion, I think the DB Drag judges, and I can't speak for other orgs because I'm not in the other orgs, but I think the DB Drag judges relate really well with the competitors, because all of us were competitors and then became judges, and I do believe our organization takes the judging process seriously.
Right.
We try to be as consistent as we can. We work hard at making sure we get answers for people, or we're consistent across the board, and we work together in talking to each other. Hey, I saw this car doing this today. What are your thoughts on that? And that's stuff that you guys as competitors don't ever see.
Right.
And so
as a competitor, DB Drag Racing is definitely the most difficult to win a championship at.
Yeah.
It is the strictest of all the organizations. But with that strict mentality comes, the more the ring is worth a lot more.
Yeah, the prestige. I would
the prestige,
say.
Correct.
Yeah, and like I said, and it's not
no knockoff on the
discounting any other organization. Absolutely
right.
not.
No knockoff on them.
Yeah.
But DB Drag Racing is one of the most difficult to attain a ring in, and I'm very proud that I have one. I have 3, but I'm very proud to have that one world championship under my belt.
Which is cool. So, All right, hey, well, guys, we're running out. Already ran on to our hour. It was
Oh,
pretty fun talking about it. I enjoyed. Um, Wood Audio says something about Mel hella cute.
who's is that his fan club?
I don't know who's Wood Audio, Mel.
I have no clue. I have no idea.
Maybe it's Mel. Just he's got his own like private his burner account on
There you
YouTube.
go. That's yeah. Two phones going all the time. Yeah, it's my burner account.
Oh, there you go. I can't wait till this weekend, though. I mean, Mel's going to be a big part of it. He's bringing T.W.I.C.A down, being a sponsor for them. I'm really interested in the ring presentation. I know a lot of those guys
cool.
that are receiving the ring, so to have that kind of recognition at an event, it's always a good thing. I know we did our DB Drag championship ring presentation one year. I think Mel was one of the recipients. So same thing with Fred, and it went over really good. Really nice to be recognized at an event as opposed to just getting your ring in the mail.
Yeah, we do that at Autorama every year out here in California.
And I know we're pressed for time, but I think having it at Crossfire is a very big deal because Roger and Crossfire are a huge part of our championships.
Oh, especially in that area, yes.
Yeah, so it shows a lot of respect to Roger and to what he does and what Jeffrey does. Building subs for us at the last minute and things like that. We couldn't be more proud to be on that team on Team Crossfire. I mean, it's awesome.
Who happens to be one of our sponsors.
That's right. Crossfire Car Auto, one of the sponsors of our podcast also. And just so you know, so this shirt I'm wearing right here says
That's
Crossfire.
Old school.
So
that's old school.
Oh, it's way old school. So we were doing a World Finals in Paris, California, which is down in LA area. And Crossfire was there, and that's where I attained this shirt. It was in October, because it was raining, and I remember I put everybody's name on the back of the shirt in orange. So if you were a competitor that year at World Finals,
wait, I thought it was in March. I think it might
March. Sorry, yes, March.
Yeah,
that's because it was the year we switched it to March because the
other
location
Nationals.
was at Spring Break Nationals.
Yeah, I was at that location.
Yeah, but if you were at World Finals, let's say I have a T-shirt shop. And you had your registration in a month in advance. So the day that we opened it, if you got it in within the first 3 days, I will put your name and your class on the back of the T-shirt that you got for World Finals entry.
Very cool.
So
that is cool.
Yeah. So I remember that. Dude, I was dark as hell. Dude, it was so rainy that year. I do remember that.
I remember that as well. I was glad that I was on the other side of the country doing finals in Florida while you guys were out there in California.
Yeah, and that was at the Forbidden Fantasies car show, which is it was the longest standing DB drag event until they stopped hosting events because they literally ran out of space. And so since they stopped, now Autorama is the longest existing DB drag show. It's 27 years or 26 years. So it was going on before I started doing DB drag. So Autorama is like I said, one of those shows that's been going on forever. So anyway, anything you'd like to add, Mel?
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on the show tonight. It means a lot to me personally. I hope to see everybody this weekend at the Crossfire Car Audio event on the 24th, and let's just show them strong.
Cool.
Yeah.
Jeffrey.
Yes.
What you got?
Nothing more to add. Just be there. You guys. It's gonna be another triple point event. It's gonna be multi-org as we talked about, and I think last time we had multi-org here at the Crossfire headquarters, it was pretty big. So just hopefully we can get it bigger and bigger, and yeah.
And also remember, guys, DB Drag is a time-sensitive organization versus USAC. So USAC, you get in the line, you can do your run at any time, but be conscious because DB Drag doesn't shift its time. We do qualifying, then we go brackets, we go into DB Drag, base race, and then top dog, right, Jeffrey? Is that how you do it too?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the guys know if they're not in the lanes, I'm hunting them down.
Okay. Are you nicer than I am? You don't give them a 2-minute warning, and then just
I think I'm a lot nicer than you are.
I'm actually the mean one. I'm the one that is calling people, hey, let's So yeah, we got it down.
It's a good support group. I know. I'll mention it a couple of times, and then the other competitors be like, "Oh, let me go grab him. He's over here," type thing. So I don't have to be as mean as you are, Doug.
So here's my philosophy on this. If you don't know when you're up, that's on you. I call 4 people out from where we're at. Not only that, but I'm live on the internet. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. Okay?
No excuses.
So you can go onto those, Facebook or YouTube. Oh, looks like Senior finally popped in. Sup, Mr. Jose Ramos. Hopefully we see you at a show soon, sir. But so I call out 4 names at a time. So you have about a 10-minute heads up before you have to be in the lane. And you can also just watch it on your phone and just pay attention half-ass and see when I call you on that. If you can't hear because like some people complain I can't hear the PA system because we tend to spread out at our shows quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so, they might not be able to hear the PA. Oh, speaking of which, I just picked up 2 more PA speakers that match the 2 I already have. So, and I'm going to look at 2 more probably tomorrow. So that'll give me 10 total speakers for World Finals here on the West Coast. Awesome. So, just in case you guys can't hear my awesomeness as I let it leave my body. But just please pay attention for Jeffrey. It helps the show move so much faster when you go qualify your DB drag, then go do your USAC, and then but if you're gonna do the multiple orgs, try and get into the lanes as soon as you possibly can. Don't hang out and chat with people. Just go get your qualifying done because it's going to make it so much easier for you to get in the lanes, and it won't slow things down when we start going to brackets.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the battles. Houston versus Dallas. I'm ready.
Ooh, we got a little. So, do you guys consider that?
It's a rivalry.
So Tex versus no Tex.
We got loud everywhere, so I'm pumped. This weekend's gonna be a blast for us.
It's good to hear. Like I said, that honestly, that's a big portion of why I still do this. I would never want to not allow that opportunity for somebody. So because I've considered quitting a few times, and every time I'm like, man, that guy would have never been introduced to DB Drag. He would have never won his ring. I got to be here for this.
Yep.
So that's really where my mentality is and why I continue to do this, and I absolutely do enjoy it. You've obviously been to one of my shows. You see, I do enjoy it. So Jeffrey knows I do. Even as tired as I am at the end of the show, I still enjoy it. So. All right, guys. Once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Puns Customs, Voodoo Customs, Crossfire Car Audio. Remember, if you get an opportunity to buy something from somebody, please grab somebody that sponsors our show. Let them know that you're buying it because of T.W.I.C.A. That always helps us to buy more stuff. That amp stuff, too.
We're sponsors. We're DB Drag sponsors.
Yeah, they're DB Drag sponsors. Absolutely. But yeah, always support those who support the things that you like to do. It helps the organizations grow, whatever. If you guys I ask Base Wars, a USAC, DB Drag, you guys absolutely should buy a membership to whatever organization you want to support. That does help them support their organizations. Even if you don't compete, you still buy the membership and help support them if that's something you'd like to see grow. If there's no events or judges in your area, you can always become a judge, especially with DB Drag. You can become a 1X judge and host your own little events and get the thing started in your area, as Chris Gregory has done. And now it's grown into its own, I'm sure, nightmare at some point. But, the guys come to him, and he's staying at a lower level so that he can still compete at World Finals and whatnot. So that's always an option for you if you don't want to move into the serious judging portion. But like I said, just go out, have fun, support the stuff that supports the things you like. Once again, the sponsors of This Week in Car Audio, Puns Customs, Voodoo's Customs, and Crossfire Car Audio. All right, guys. Remember to like, share this as much as you possibly can. Let's get the subscribers on YouTube, This Week in Car Audio, up to at least 500. That way we can give away. I can give away a membership. When we get to 1,000, I'll get an entry fee into World Finals. So once again, guys, hey, thanks for tuning in. We will see you guys next week at 5:30 California time, the only time that does matter on This Week in Car Audio. Peace. We out.
Whoa, whoa.